Howdy. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install a nitro line on your Bombs Up dispenser. If you are choosing to do this or watching this video, I'm guessing you're choosing to do it by yourself. If you do not feel comfortable doing this whole process by yourself, I would call the Bombs Up people, and what they'll do is they'll be able to organize a technician to come out to you to install it for you. So this is what you're going to be getting for the most part. So all these materials here, these are what you'll be using to essentially attach this inside the keg room, attach it to this regulator, and put this barb on the dispenser. Some tools you're gonna need a drill of some sort, some Reattach clamps, and some tube cutters. I'm gonna have a link to all these, not necessarily the drill, but to these two tools in the link below. And you're also going to need a 5/16 bit for the hex screws here. Those are the type of screws we use. Alright, to start off, you're going to have your cooler. Inside your cooler, you're going to have your panel. It should relatively look similar to this. Obviously, this is kind of a smaller down example version, but what you're going to be looking for is this right here. What tap are you going to be tapping to? How we set up the nitro taps, we usually have them on the far left or the far right of how many panels you have, because you don't want to be fitting them in between two panels. So you're going to either be choosing line 1 or the last line you do. First thing you're going to do is you're going to punch the gas line into the cooler. For instance, you would already have a CO2 line coming inside your cooler. You're going to want to get a nitro line ran inside your cooler. We don't have one ran in here, but we're going to kind of give an example of what that looks like. Alright, using this tube. Alright, so if you can imagine with me, this is our nitro line. We have routed it inside the cooler, and we're going to be kind of connecting all this stuff on the left side of this panel. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to be wanting to add a shut off to this, and that is this thing right here. This is going to be able to allow you to shut off the gas whenever you need to for any reason inside the cooler. So you're going to take this, you're going to attach it right here, and then you're going to, before you attach it, you're going to need one of these Reattach clamps. Put it over that. Attach it to the gas line, like so. And that is what this clamper is for. Like that. Alright, so right now this is what we got. At this stage, you can also go ahead and add your nitro sticker. This is kind of a sign that shows where the nitro shutoff is. Here. Like so. Alright, now that we have this kind of dangling here, and we can now activate the gas if we want to, because it's now turned off right here, we are going to add the regulator. So the regulator is going to go right here, and then it's going to be attaching to this gas line right here. So we can go ahead and take this blue one off so it's less confusing. Keep this just here. Alright, so imagine this is still there. I'm going to say right here for right now. We are going to want the regulator, 2 screws, and the drill. We're going to take these screws, we're going to put them through. I'm going to drill in our regulator. Alright, now that our regulator is in, we're going to take some more braided lines, so you guys will be getting 20 feet of this. You can also use this to run the CO2 line, or not CO2, the nitro line from outside the cooler inside the cooler. You're going to take a snip of this, Using the 2 cutters, and go ahead and attach it and clamp it. I'm going to get another odor clamp as well, because we're going to be attaching the gas right here to this right here. Clamp that as well. And that's what we got so far. You got the gas coming in, you got your shutoff here, then you got also the barb coming down here, and that's where we're going to attach the gas. So next we're going to cut this, put a stopper on that, and attach the gas over this one. So you're going to take your 2 cutters here, and you're going to be cutting right here. Something to take note of, before you start cutting on the panel itself, make sure these 2 are in the off position right like this, and then just be sure you take this one and make sure it's off as well. This will assure that there's not going to be gas flowing out. So you're going to take this, you're going to snip it wherever is more convenient, and now you'll see that you have just a random tube here. That is what this plug is coming in handy for. You're going to be taking this, and you're going to be sticking it up right in here. This can be kind of difficult since it's kind of wide. Right? You can actually push it all the way through, but just for time purposes, so you guys don't see me struggle, you can just keep it like that. Then you take an odor, you can fits right over it. You can take that now and clamp it. All right, sweet. Now that connection is no longer putting CO2 in your line. You can take these, so what you're going to be doing now is taking this red tube and connecting it right here. This clamp kind of prevents it from getting enough length, but you can kind of just slide it down by grabbing both tubes. Now it should be able to reach your nitro regulator here quite seemingly. You're going to take another clamp, put it on here, and you're going to pop it on to the regulator like so. Now you're going to clamp. Yep, and now, like that, that part is done. And the last thing we need to do is put on the correct keg tap, there's water in there, keg tap on your nitro line. And this is probably the tap you're going to be using, is just a Guinness tap. So you're going to take both these lines, snip that, and snip this. You can put that keg tap away. Now we are going to take these. The clear goes through the top. That on there, and we'll probably give you another, just one big one, because this barb is kind of abnormally large compared to the other ones. So there will be a bigger odor clamp. Just keep an eye out for that for this top one. Yep, and now this gas one goes to the side. You're gonna use another clamp. And like that, your tap is all ready to go for pouring beer. Now we're gonna go to the front end and show you what you need to change there. Just keep in mind to shut these back on when you go to pour, because the system will not work, obviously, when these are turned off. All right, we're underneath the dispenser on the front end. You either have this set up here. Obviously it's gonna look a little nicer. This is kind of our demo unit. Or you'll have a countertop unit, which will be up above here. If you do have a countertop unit, it'll be a little easier to work on because you can actually flip up the dispenser. But for right now, we have a in-counter unit. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find line 1, or the last line that you have, the line you put on the nitro regulator and stuff like that. You're gonna first peel back the insulation. It'll usually be like a square or two. And you want to try to avoid using a pocket knife or a knife in general, because you don't want to cut any of these tubes. That'll be not a good day for you. Alright, so you peeling it back. What we're looking for is this right here. That is the nut that we're going to be changing out. These are the tools we're also going to be using. We're using some outer clamps, a wrench, and we'll be using a barb that we'll be attaching. This is actually the piece that makes it a nitro tap. So we're going to first take off this nut, and you'll notice when we do turn it, it's not going to be actually spinning this rubber tube. It's actually just going to be twisting inside there. This is one of the more harder processes to do, and I suggest, if you cannot do this, instead of going all Hail Mary, to call a technician to either help you or get a technician to come do this for you. So we got here, we're going to start unwinding it. Probably use a smaller adjustable wrench too, that would probably help. Just keep on working. Notice how the tube's not moving? I'm just basically moving this threads. And almost got it. If it does move the tube, it's fine. All right, we got our tap untapped. We are now going to take the nitro tap here. Basically, this just goes and threads on top of that one, and basically you insert that. Now, if this for some reason does not thread into your tubing, what you're going to need to do is, there should be a new barb sent with you. The reason for that is sometimes our model has changed, and if it does not thread in, it's not going to be right. It's not going to thread in correctly and cause problems. So if it doesn't thread in, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be cutting back on the tube, adding a new barb, and then putting this piece on here. And we'll give you all those materials in the kit as well. Just I won't be going over it in this video. Like I said, call a technician if you have any trouble. Right, you're gonna make sure that it's tight on there. And once that is tight, you're now gonna be threading it inside this barb here. You're gonna be threading it back in. I might fast forward this process because this takes a little bit of time and finagling to do, but once you get threaded in for the most part, you can probably most likely just start threading it with the wrench. Okay. Now that I got it kind of in there, I can... Alright, this is what it should look like underneath, or my bad, this is what it should look like after you got done all tightening. This is a very tedious process. If you definitely did try it, you would know. Some workarounds if this does not work for you. You can remove this Oetiker clamp and hopefully not try to cut this line. You can pop off the tube and then thread everything in, both barbs in, and then you can shove the tube on with a clamp. And we'll send you a clamp just in case this way does not work. That was another option. Something to note is that this tube will be kind of tough to get on this barb, so that's why we don't suggest that process beforehand. And if not, like I said, call a technician. We'll try to work with you to get it done. And worst comes to worst, you just have a technician come out to your location to install this barb. All right, and for the most part, the system's all good to go. All you gotta do now is put back on the insulation, and we got insulation inside your package that we sent you. So it'll be this insulation, maybe even some thicker insulation, but this you can put on the tubing right here, along with your square that you ripped off, and then everything should be good to go. So this is the front end, and this is the back end. All right.